welcome to another edition of Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260, despite the odds that Jim put in the chat pre-show. He said, Josh, plus 125 that'll actually be here, minus 150 that he isn't. Josh Boeheim is here.
On a holiday weekend, nonetheless.
Hence the reason why you were plus 125 to show up. Hey, you told me you were going to be a game time decision and you would text me this morning, and I never received a text message.
That's true.
So I was like, okay, Josh isn't going to be here.
I'm here.
I pull into the parking lot and you're here. Happy 4th of July weekend to everybody out there. Hope everyone had a safe and fun holiday yesterday. You know, obviously it's going to be a long holiday weekend for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
You included, from what I understand.
Kind of a bummer normally when you think like, it's on a weekend, kind of Friday. But actually, now that you think it, Friday is the prime
Friday
4th
is
of
the
July
perfect day.
It's the best. You still get the day off work.
Yep.
And then yesterday feels like the weekend the whole time. It's a 3-day weekend. It's great.
Except for me, who had to work. I closed early.
Perks of the job.
Yeah. If my bosses are listening, I did not close early. No, I closed up at 7:30 instead of 8. There was no one on the course. It was a beautiful day yesterday. We had a lot of play in the morning.
Yeah.
But that's how it is on the 4th every year. You're loaded up until 1 o'clock, and then it's dead.
Sure. You're already doing the festivities.
Yeah. But it was a beautiful day yesterday. Stopped down to the family party last night. I got there after most people had left.
Gotcha.
But it was still a good time. Played some volleyball. My knees are not thanking me for it this morning. We're getting so old, dude.
Speak for yourself, man. I'm prime.
I played 2 games of volleyball yesterday. And granted, I was a volleyball player in high school.
Yeah.
When we play volleyball in the 4th, I'm taking it way too seriously. I'm diving left and right for balls. I'm still a libero at heart. So that ball is coming down. I'm like, I'm going to dig this ball.
Sure.
I was playing in my golf shirt and slacks that I wore to work.
No pair of shorts?
No, I went straight from work.
Yeah.
I didn't have the thought to be like, hey, dummy, maybe bring a pair of shorts to change into when you get to the party.
Yeah.
No.
But you don't turn down a volleyball game. You don't.
Never have, never will. So played a couple of games of volleyball, had a great time. Great to see a lot of the members of the family, some of them coming in from out of town.
Sure.
Yesterday you celebrated with a round of golf.
Round of golf, went over, a friend's birthday also going on. Had a nice little hangout, a lot of lawn games, some drinking involved, grilling outside is very nice. Also a friendly fight broke out. A manicured fight, not a real tussle, but a wrestling match, let's call it.
Sure.
That was fun between Dan and Junior, as you know, size difference to play.
Big size difference there.
Generally went pretty well. Someone gets a choke locked in, and the ref maybe called it a little too early. That was me, but it's the right time to call it. Nobody wants to see their friend get choked out at a 4th of July game.
Yeah.
Once you get it somewhat locked, let's just break this thing up.
Yeah, let's just
You
call
won,
it.
buddy.
Jim said over under 0.5 balls Josh would die for in volleyball. I will defend this man's volleyball playing acumen because we have played together, and he is another man who takes his volleyball very seriously.
I don't mess around. I did a little indoor, recreational.
I was gonna say you've played some organized volleyball.
That's right.
So. Yeah, I'll vouch for Josh on the volleyball.
I try and get to every ball.
Yeah, he does. He is a menace in the back row. You do not want to share a back row with this man because he's going to push you out of the way.
Oh yeah.
So do you want to explain to the people your plans for today?
I don't know my plans for today. I guess I have some sort of amazing race competition thing happening at a friend's house.
Yeah,
and I don't know how there's 8 teams or 8 teams of 2 or 8 people in total. I don't even know the number. I think there's drinking involved. I mean, there's going to be drinking.
Well, there's going to be
drinking involved. I don't know how it works. I've been calling it a beer Olympics of sorts.
Yeah.
I've never been a part of that. I'm getting a ride there, though. Like, I'm fully prepared to turn this into whatever it has to be.
Well, you showed up this morning and brought a cooler into the studio.
Well, part of that is I'm going to get ahead of it. I want to just be ready for whatever happens. And that means starting now.
I'm not going to stop you. You handed me a Jenny Light at 11 in the morning. Sure.
Things happen, okay?
Yeah.
I need to be prepared for this holiday weekend and whatever the day brings me, and that involves a Jenny Light in the morning.
So the folks can look forward to that. It's going to be one of those shows.
Sure.
We've had these in the past where, St. Patrick's Day show and, 4th of July show, Christmas.
What other weeks?
The August 4th. No, we're kidding. But every once in a while. And as Josh drinks his Jenny Light right now, which
refreshing.
You can see, very refreshing, which you can see if you tune in on YouTube, the Score 1260 YouTube channel, Twitch at @marker_box, twitch.tv/marker_box, or follow along on Twitter, which is @marker_box. Talk to us during the breaks. We've got the camera set up in here. We used to have lights and LEDs and all that stuff, and this studio is as empty as can be.
Downsizing.
Yeah. Without the man-child show in here now. The only thing left on the walls are three things. An autographed picture of Smokin' Joe Frazier, which I brought in.
A dapper-looking Smokin' Joe Frazier.
Dapper Smokin' Joe Frazier. Dressed to the nines in that picture.
Those snakeskin boots? What's on there?
They might be. The story behind that picture is my dad was working at Edward Joy, I believe. This is a few years ago. I think he was still at Edward Joy Electric. And starts talking to this person, and they're like, yeah, I was good friends with Joe Frazier.
He goes, that Joe Frazier?
And he's like the former heavyweight champion Joe Frazier. And they're like, yeah. And like we used to go to all these shows and stuff together, and I would help him like with sell his autographs and stuff like that. And my dad's like, oh, that's cool. My son's a boxing fan. Like, do you happen to have any more? Like, I can buy one off you.
Sure.
The guy's like, yeah, come here. Go out to his car. He opens his trunk. He's got about 150 of those.
I've been trying to get rid of these for years.
And he's like, here, take one. My dad's like, okay.
So Smokin' Joe signed a lot.
Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, he signed all the time. So that's the Smokin' Joe Frazier. I have just a picture of Floyd Little.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask which 44 that is.
Yeah, it is Floyd Little. It's a Sports Illustrated picture.
Okay.
That good family friend. I think I've told you about this place. He's got this pole barn with.
Oh yeah.
In the barn, every wall is covered with just like photos from Sports Illustrated, and then some other memorabilia. Like he's got a big Walter Payton signed jersey and stuff like that.
Yep.
And so that was a repeat he had, so he gave that to me. And then just a piece of Syracuse wall art that I think I got as like a Christmas gift one year.
So it'll be easy to take down.
Yeah. And I'm going to have to talk to Lurch. He took my Floyd Little mini bobblehead.
That was yours?
That was mine.
Wow. I mean, you forget things. You just assume.
Yeah. Jim is saying we need a Mahomes poster in here again. No. The story,
right.
The story behind that poster was Lurch was trying to mess with me because he thought it was the Sports Illustrated cover from when they beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Yeah.
And so he was getting that as a gag. So every time I walked into the studio, I would have to be reminded of the Chiefs beating my team in the Super Bowl. And he actually got the wrong one. And it was from their first one. So I was like, ha, screw you, Lurch.
Still had a similar effect, but not the exact same.
No, because he put it up like
the Monday after.
It was like a week after the Super Bowl. He's like, hey, Mark, look what I got. I'm like, Lurch, it's not the right one. He's looked. Hey, wait a minute. You're right. And then Jim said, maybe Aaron Judge or Tiger Woods. There certainly won't be an Aaron Judge poster going up in here. I'll tell you that much. Maybe I'll get just like a big picture of like Nomar Garciaparra's face or something.
Okay, that'll work.
A Nomar fathead to throw on the wall or throw on the window. But yeah, we got to take a timeout. We'll come back.
Sure.
There is I wanted to do a little thought experiment here with Josh regarding starting pitchers. We had a great conversation about starting pitchers last week and some of the guys that are currently the best in Major League Baseball. And one of those guys we discussed is going to be on this list, but I want to put 4 guys head to head, and we're going to talk career-wise because a couple of these guys are either at a huge milestone or looking to get to a huge milestone. So we'll
Okay.
talk about that when we come back here on Outside the Box Score.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people
How old is the one of them that's clearly the youngest?
35.
Really?
Yeah.
God, he's just been injured for so long.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I'm sorry. He is 37.
Wow. So he came up at the same time, kind of?
He is actually...
We're just doing the thing now.
He's the same age
as
Kershaw.
Jeez. Well, what are you going to do? Yeah, the wrestle with Dan and Junior. They're going at it for... So basically, Junior...
And this is a heavyweight versus a middleweight.
Junior wanted more. So they were trying to get ways for him to do it, and I was like, I kept telling Junior, I'm like, you could just take him. You can take him right now. And he's like, you know what? Yeah, and he's done with all the BS. He's like, I can take him. I'll do it. So they get into a wrestling match. I'm like, I'll officiate. Of course, Aiden's there. He wants to break it up, the whole thing. He's doing much more.
This is Sugar Ray Leonard versus Ali.
Oh, yeah. It makes no sense. And so they're going at it. Round one was a lot of pushing. They had gotten on the ground, and then they both kind of got up. And the look in Dan's eyes, you haven't seen this very often, but it was just very intent, sinister, I'd say.
Ooh.
So far, we're Junior, even before they went at it again, was like, are we good? Are you still good? This is still fun, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're like Junior sobered up a little bit, but like, I'm just kidding. Like, I don't know. Yeah. We still do it. And then he was like really pushing him. And I'm like, oh boy. Dan ragdolls him, throws him on the ground. We're like, no slamming. It wasn't a slam technically, but he ragdolls him. And then as Junior's on the ground getting himself, Dan double axe handled full jump. Oh! He jumps up with the power of God to dive onto him. Thankfully, missing Junior. Junior, like, rolls out of the way.
He would have broken a rib.
He would have broken something. And then that's when Junior gets the back. He's got, like, his forearm around the neck, and he's kind of getting it for, like, 2 seconds. He's got that. I'm like, all right, that's enough.
Yeah.
The whole crowd is like, called it too early. You suck. I'm like, guys, nobody wants. He's like, it wasn't even locked in. You know, Aiden's like, you can't even choke a guy out like that. I'm like, I don't care. They aren't professionals. If Dan doesn't get out of that, I don't want to just be he's like, it's not bad. If you get choked out, you'd be fine. I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to be the guy being like, hey, okay. Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Buddy. We don't need to do that.
No.
He had him a little bit. Now both of them think they still had it. You know, Junior afterwards going, I had him, dude. I had him. Thanks for calling. And Dan's going, I could have gotten out. I'm way bigger. I'm like, this is great. Blame me.
Jeez.
Blame me. Let's move on. It was fun. It was starting to get not fun. I could tell, you know, this is the looks, the push. It was getting not fun.
Yep.
Let's just call it. It was a good time. And Junior vomited profusely afterwards.
Shocking.
It was a lot of energy. I mean, he was like, yeah, I mean, obviously Dan's stronger. Dan just didn't use the strength for a long time until he unleashed
he
it
got intense.
and then tried to kill him.
Tried to kill Junior.
He fully jumped in the air, landing on the ground.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
A wild move for a guy like Dan.
It was pretty wild. Yeah, the whole crowd, it was like, oh! You're like, no punching. Punching is wild. We're not punching.
Well, yeah, it's not a street fight.
So he tried to use his entire body weight to punish him. Anything fun? Like any fights break out of your place? No scuffles in the fam.
Nope. It was volleyball. That's about it.
It's all in good fun, I think. He was popping those things though before, kind of like the ones we had in Florida.
Yeah,
but he had like half a bar, and we were like, all right, you're probably good. And he's like, it's my birthday. I'm going to keep doing it. And we're like, at some point I was like, yeah, just let him do it. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
Dan's like, no. And I'm like, all right.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. So there was a big milestone in Major League Baseball the other day. Clayton Kershaw becoming the newest member of the 3,000 strikeout club. He currently sits at exactly 3,000 strikeouts.
How many guys got that? Do you know?
I think it's like 17.
Okay. Yeah, it's a pretty elite group.
Most of them in the Hall of Fame. There's
Yeah.
a couple of exceptions.
Okay.
Roger Clemens and Kurt Schilling.
That makes,
and then the guys who aren't eligible yet. Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer. I think those are the only two that aren't eligible to get in yet. And speaking of those two, we're gonna have a little 4-man battle here. Kershaw, Verlander, Scherzer, DeGrom.
Yeah.
You get, say it's Game 7, World Series. You get one of those guys in their prime on the mound. Who are you handing the ball to?
I can eliminate some right off the bat. I think I'm eliminating some.
Okay.
I think, and this is a tough spot, Clayton's done really well in the last half of his career in the postseason. He's disproved, when he first started, those first 10 years almost.
I would say take that out of it. Like, it's...
That kind of adds to me, though. I feel like it's a little bit of a lack of clutch for part of his career.
Yeah, that's fair.
To me, so that's just where I'm at. I take Clayton out of it, although I do like the lefty. I like having a lefty on the mound.
Okay.
I do appreciate that. I take him out. I just never felt like Scherzer was as dominant as those two. For some reason, I dropped Scherzer too. He has more prone for the long ball, I felt like, throughout his career. It's kind of more risky in my mind. I dropped Scherzer off. And then between DeGrom and Verlander, this is tough. Because both workhorses, too. Like, Verlander could give me all 9. I know.
Yep.
He could throw 120 pitches. I think my pick would be Verlander, even though I think DeGrom's nastier. He's the better. Something about that moment I'd pick Verlander.
Yeah, Verlander came into the season. He's at 262 career wins. He was hoping to try to maybe push to get up to that 300.
Yeah.
A number we will never see again, by the way.
No guys don't pitch long.
No one will come close to reaching 300 wins ever again. But it's been a tough year for Justin.
He got shelled last night.
Yeah, 0-6 with a 4.84 ERA, 60 strikeouts in 70 innings. His WHIP is 1.4.
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
And is it time for the 42-year-old to hang him up? Probably. You can probably say the same thing about Scherzer, who just came back. Like, he's, been
he was
hurt.
Injured a lot of
he's been hurt, and he's pitching in Toronto now. But he's, he's not getting any younger. He's 40. And your dad says Prime Verlander is the choice here.
Wow.
The funny thing is, because I think I might agree with you that the choice might be Prime Verlander, and that's why I wanted to bring this up. In terms of career numbers, he's pretty comfortably the 4th best pitcher on this list. His career ERA plus is 128. Scherzer's is 133. DeGrom's is 157.
Yeah.
And Kershaw's is 155, which is actually even more impressive than DeGrom's 157 because Clayton Kershaw
actually pitched more than that.
Has 1,200, 1,300 more innings than Jacob DeGrom, and his ERA plus is 2 points lower. The career numbers for Kershaw are he's 216 and 94 with a 2.52 ERA and 3,000 strikeouts in 2,700 innings. A 2.52 career ERA.
That's definitely the most production over the longevity of the career, for sure. Right.
DeGrom's numbers 93 and 59 with a 2.49 career ERA. But like I said, he's only got 1,468 innings and 1,700 strikeouts. I can't wait for Jacob DeGrom to somehow not get in the Hall of Fame on his first ballot, and I'm just going to go absolutely berserk. Scherzer, 216 and 112 with a 3.17, 3,400 strikeouts in 2,891 innings with a 1.33 ERA plus, like I mentioned. And then Verlander, most wins, 262, 153 losses, but an ERA of 3.33. 3,476 strikeouts in 3,486 innings.
That's my workhorse.
That's a lot of innings. Well, yeah, and I'm just looking at his numbers. So I brought up like all their prime numbers as well. But yeah, it's Verlander had a stretch. 201 and 2/3, 201 in terms of innings, 240, 224, 251, 238, 218, 206.
Verlander's the only guy on the list to win an MVP too, yeah?
No, Kershaw.
Kershaw won one?
Yep.
Okay.
Verlander and Kershaw each have 3 Cy Youngs and an MVP.
Jeez.
DeGrom has 2 Cy Youngs. Does Scherzer have 3? He does. Scherzer has 3 as well.
Okay.
So these guys combined
all of the
for
accolades.
Yeah.
11 Cy Youngs.
11 Cy Youngs and 2 MVPs.
I don't know. Now that we talk about it too, just that environment, Scherzer's kind of always been a head case in the right way that I like.
Oh, Scherzer's a psychopath on the mound.
He'd also be a great pick. I mean, obviously, you can't go wrong. It's a battle of just who you like more, right? Who's more in the moment. They'd all be fantastic picks.
It's four first ballot Hall of Famers.
Right.
It's 4 of maybe the top 25 pitchers of all time.
Yeah, the 4 best pitchers we've seen.
Yeah,
in
it's
our
the
lifetime.
4. It's the 4 best pitchers. It's the 4 best pitchers, I would say, of the last 20 years.
Yeah, sure. I mean, early 2000s, we saw some people.
Yeah, I was gonna say we did see Pedro and Randy and Roger Clemens and Kurt Schilling and Greg Maddux and Glavine and Smoltz. Like, we did get a chance to watch those guys, just not really in their prime.
Right.
But they were pitching when we were watching baseball, at least me. So, but yeah, it's the 4 best pitchers of the last 20 years, and there isn't really an argument about that. I mean, if you want to throw Sabathia in there, maybe, but
really, or is
like he was the 3rd left-handed pitcher to ever reach 3,000 strikeouts.
True.
First ballot Hall of Famer. He's a level below these guys.
Yeah.
But peak-wise, I mean, he won a Cy Young. He should have won another one when he got traded to Milwaukee and had the most insane second half someone's ever had, except maybe Randy Johnson when he got traded to the Astros.
Yeah.
And so he probably should have won the National League Cy Young that year as well, even though it was only like 12 starts or something. But it's interesting because I would probably go DeGrom.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it more.
Just stuff's too good.
Just the dominance. Because Verlander didn't reach that stage. Verlander's career is so strange. So he has those great years in Detroit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then he sort of loses it for a couple of years there.
Mm-hmm.
He's got like the stomach issues and the back issues. And then he goes to Houston and has his best season at the age of like 36. He goes 21-6 with a 2.58 ERA, 223 innings, 300 strikeouts. He had never gotten to 300 strikeouts before. You could argue maybe a couple years later, 2022, arguably a better season, 18-4 with a 1.75.
Yeah.
And he's 39 years old. But that's when we see his strikeout numbers really go up and his dominance is kind of more in Houston than it even was in Detroit.
Right, like where is his prime even?
Yeah, exactly.
3-year stretches in both places that are like freakish.
I got his prime stats and they're from 2009 to 2022. Like it's a 14 season
prime. Normally that's 4-5 years, maybe.
I pulled up 8 years for Scherzer.
Sure.
And I pulled up 11 for Kershaw. But Kershaw's is also injury based.
Yep.
So because Kershaw hasn't been healthy since 2015 was the last time he threw 200 innings.
Is that right?
Yeah. Clayton Kershaw hasn't thrown for 200 innings in 10 years. And So I pulled up 09 to 19 for Kershaw. DeGrom, I didn't take prime stats. I'm just looking at his
DeGrom.
stats.
Yeah.
It's just his stats. It's 12 years and he's got a 2.49 ERA. So
I was shocked he was that old when we were talking about it.
yeah, Jacob DeGrom is somehow 37 years old, and he didn't he was a rookie in 2014.
Right.
So we were thinking like, oh yeah, he was 21. He was 26.
Late bloomer.
Yeah, very much a late bloomer. His prime years with the Mets were ages 30 to 33.
I mean, and he's the only case that, like, currently we're talking about age, and you just mentioned with Verlander, who kind of had that late year or late career resurgence. Jacob DeGrom's a Cy Young candidate this year.
Yeah.
Currently happening right now, he's got a sub-2 ERA or just around.
Yeah, 2.13. He's 9-2 with a 2.13 and 100 strikeouts and 101 innings. His whip is .88.
Yeah, those are some pretty damn good numbers for a 37-year-old who's doing the same thing. He went to a new place down in Texas, and he's turning back the clock a little bit.
Yeah, it's just so fun. I mean, it seems like pitchers like these typically come around once in a generation.
And we got 4.
And we have 4 that are just first, like, inner circle. I think you can make the argument, and I've said this before and people called me crazy. I think you can make the argument that Clayton Kershaw is the best pitcher to ever step on a baseball field. I'm not saying I would.
Yeah.
I mean, Cy Young, Roger Clemens, Randy Johnson, there's a million of them. But in terms of extended periods of time of dominance, I mean, the guy's had a sub-2 ERA 3 times.
Yeah, that's insane.
And he had that stretch. We talked about it with it was Austin's favorite stat was it was 10 years in a row his ERA didn't get above 3.
Yes. Yeah, that just doesn't happen in modern pitching.
No, it doesn't.
In a season of, in a career of juiced balls and all these other things that he's played, all that type of things too, he remained dominant.
Yeah, absolutely dominant. And him getting to 3,000 strikeouts is sort of what made me reflect on Clayton Kershaw's career, because I think the latter half of it, where he hasn't been healthy, and that combined with the postseason struggles, and he's got 2 rings now. Which,
sure. Yeah, all that goes out the window in the last 5 years.
Yeah, he's got 2 rings now, but there is that still kind of that thing where it's like, yeah, but he got shelled by St. Louis. He, there's always that, the Matt Adams home run hanging over his head. And I just hope people don't completely forget that this guy for a stretch of time was Sandy Koufax 2.0.
Sure.
And it's the best comp anyone can make to Clayton Kershaw, because they're both lefties that pitch for the Dodgers with a big curveball.
Yeah.
But he really was our version of Sandy Koufax, and part of me kind of wishes he retired after winning the ring in 2020.
Just so we didn't have
And he retired at 32.
Yeah.
And he is Koufax. And he lives on as a legend like Sandy Koufax, who Sandy Koufax had 5 good years.
You've told me this before, because I think we were talking about great pitchers, and I threw out Koufax. You're like, yeah, he was really great for 5 years.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
And Sandy Koufax is one of my favorite people in baseball history, because the first, this is the first 7 years of his career. I'm just waiting for Baseball Reference to give me the stats here. But the first 7 years of his career, he makes 1 All-Star team and has an ERA below 4 out of the 7 years, but never below 3. You like mid to high 3s.
Just a rotation guy.
Yeah, he's
there.
He's just a guy. And then in 62, he goes 14-7 with a 2.54, and it's like, wait a minute.
Oh yeah,
he might be figuring it out. Then it's his career ERA going into 1962 was 3.94.
Where did it end at?
2.76. Because it's
a lot of work in 5 years.
Yeah. Because And so it's like, okay, but you only made 28 starts, 184 innings. It's like, but this is a good start. 63, 25 and 5 with a 188 wins the Cy Young. 64, 19 and 5 with a 174. 29 starts again, but this time 223 innings, finishes third in the Cy Young. 65, 26 and 8 with a 204, wins the Cy Young. And 66, the last year of his career, 27 and 9 with a 173, wins the Cy Young.
So 3 out of those last 4 years.
He wins 3 Cy Youngs in 4 years, and in 3 out of those 4 years, his ERA is sub 2. Doesn't win the Cy Young in one of those years. Also leads the league in strikeouts 3 out of those 4 years. The 3 years he won the Cy Young, he also led the league in strikeouts. The most in his career coming in 1965. He had 382 strikeouts and 335 and 2/3 innings.
That's so much innings. That's so many innings. I've never seen someone get close to 300 now.
Oh, God, no. No, I'm trying to think.
Like 240 maybe?
Yeah, I feel like, well, Verlander, I said, had that one year we had 251.
Yeah.
But no one throws 250 innings anymore. That was 2011. That was his MVP year.
Yeah.
Was the last time he threw 250 innings, which is also an absurd amount of innings from a modern day standpoint.
Yeah.
How many complete games did he have that year? 4.
How many shutouts?
2.
Oh,
but so part of me wishes Kershaw retired at 32 years old and just goes out like Koufax.
One of those guys were like, what if, but he was just at the top.
Yeah.
Truly the top.
Truly at the top. I don't know. I'm just hoping that, not that Clayton Kershaw will ever be forgotten, but I'm already seeing it with guys like Felix Hernandez.
Yeah.
Felix Hernandez, for 10 years, was in the conversation with the 4 guys we were talking about earlier.
Now it's King Felix is gone and he's forgotten
on
some level.
And no one cares about the dominance that Felix Hernandez had.
It's going to be special to think about those guys in like 10 years when you think about like elite starters now. We were talking last week, like Skeens comes to mind, any other guy we named, Hunter Brown, Valdez, pretty much any starter for the Astros now, and Skeens. What can they make this a career of just being that dominant? Like these guys don't exist for that long. I think now you see Skeens and you're like, oh, he's going to be the best pitcher of all time. And you're like,
yeah,
well, he's really good right now, and he's done it for a year. Like he has to do this for another decade to get into that conversation.
Yeah.
It's crazy how good some of these people have been.
Just quickly on Felix Hernandez, in a 9-year stretch, or 8-year stretch, in 8 years, he received Cy Young votes in 6 of them, finished in the top 3 or top 5 in 3 of them, winning 1 of them. Received MVP votes in 5 different years, and went 113 and 76 with a 2.9 ERA, 134 ERA plus, and striking out 9 guys per 9 innings.
That's a guy like outside of DeGrom, even somehow. We talk about his win numbers being awful and stuff.
There is no Jacob DeGrom without Felix Hernandez.
Yes.
Because he won a Cy Young going 13 and 12 on those awful Mariners teams in the late 2000s and early 2010s. And without him setting that precedent, we don't see Jacob DeGrom win a Cy Young by winning 10 games or whatever it was.
How old is Felix Hernandez? Like right now, how old is he? He can't be more than 40.
39.
Right.
He's younger than Verlander and Scherzer, and he hasn't pitched since 2020.
He could have just been a guy leading the charge with the Mariners' new youth. Like imagine having an ace like that again.
Yeah.
And I know what if he's dropped off. Whatever.
Yeah, his drop off was really bad. That was the problem, was when he started losing velocity, it really did hurt him, because he was always known for that hard changeup.
Yeah.
His fastball was 96 and his changeup was like 91. And then all of a sudden the fastball is like 90 to 92 and the changeup's like 89 to 90.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work. We do have to take a timeout. We'll be back, talk about a lot more here on Outside the Box Score.
The All Night Egg.
Let it be known that I will never forget Felix Hernandez. King Felix was the man.
Don't forget, and perfect game.
Yeah, perfect game.
Don't forget Tim Lincecum either, man.
Oh, I'll never forget Tim Lincecum. There was a Tim Lincecum sighting recently in San Francisco. It made me very happy.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a guy who had a prime. And it was a very clear
back-to-back Cy Youngs. For 4 years, Tim Lincecum was
the face
Roger
of baseball.
Clemens.
Yeah.
And for the rest of his career, he was as mediocre as you can get.
Mm-hmm. Made a cover. MLB 2K9.
Yes, he did.
Love that game. Played the crap out of that game. I hate that I can't play baseball games anymore.
I know.
They had MLB The Show 24 on Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass. They even took it off Game Pass. I can't even play the old version now. Bastards, Mark.
I'm just looking at Lincecum's stats now.
Oh, yeah.
This might just end up being a name and dude show because, big time Timmy Jim. Just the man.
What were his case in those years, like 2008, 2009 or whatever?
Yeah, he went 265, 261, 231, 220.
He had that big sinker, right? That was his pitch?
Well, it was weird. It was like a split changeup that he would throw, and that thing would just dive down and in on you. It was unhittable.
Yeah, that guy was a freak, and he threw so aggressive.
That was his nickname, the freak.
I know, because he had that weird wind, like really aggressive jerking throwing motion.
Yeah. So the reason for that was when he was a kid, his father used to put dollar bills on the ground and say, I need you, like, you have to pick these up when you follow through, and you can keep them. And so that's what got him to be so long and get so much extension.
So he could grab
and
the bill.
follow through so much is to grab the dollar bill. And that's where his velocity came from. But also that's where his shoulder issues came from.
Well, that's the thing about being a freak father, too. You got to, you take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
You made your money's worth. You're good. Now, I got a real baseball for you one the other day. Grandma asked me this question, and I tried to explain it to the best of my ability. I'm interested to hear your question. She was at my aunt and uncle's, and the uncle doesn't really watch sports. And he's like, why is the catcher call the pitches if the pitcher's so good? Why can't the pitcher call his own pitches?
Some do.
That's what I said. I was like, I don't know. Some call their own.
Scherzer calls his own game.
Yeah. I was literally like, that's not always the case. And I go, in other cases, they just
Greinke like to call his own game.
I'm like, it's just a teamwork thing, I'd imagine. Maybe the catcher knows more about the people, I'm like, and the pitcher always has final say, even in the catcher's calling it. Pitcher can be like, no.
Yeah, exactly. The pitcher essentially does call his own game.
Right.
Like, outside the box score, what's your name? Where you're calling from? Hello? Oh, hey, Jamie. I'll throw you on hold.
Yep. Killing me, fatty. Not you. It's just whoever's in these things.
Yeah.
They deaf? Who's using this damn studio?
I was going to say, because
that's from last week?
The phones aren't even up that high. That's weird.
Chilich up a break early.
Jim asked, Sabalenka or the field for the women's Wimbledon title?
Jeez. Asking about a heavy favorite. It's so weird because there's been so many upsets on both sides of the draw. Mensik losing again earlier today as a seeded guy in the men's side. Like, I think it was like over half the seeds lost in the first 2 rounds. But I'd take Sabalenka.
Yeah, I would too.
I don't know, right? I was liking Ryabinka or whatever, and I think she lost today too. Everyone's Maddie Keys lost the other day. Like, just people are dropping like flies.
Yeah.
Emma Navarro's in a third set.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. Going to jump over to the phone lines. We've got Jamie, the FedEx guy, calling in. Jamie, what's going on, my man?
Hey, Mark, Josh, how you guys doing today?
I'm doing well, my friend. Happy 4th of July weekend.
Happy 4th of July weekend to you, fellas. And I got 2 topics. Yesterday's golf, the second topic. First topic, Wimbledon. Wicked lot of upsets. And I can't believe I put $20 down on Hercules to win this thing, and he got, canceled in the first round before the tournament even started.
You got that back, didn't you? Maybe.
Well, I'm not cool like you hip youngsters that do it on the phone. I have to go to the casino, and my
Sure.
friend said, "Yeah, you could go back and get you $20." But I'm like, "Yeah, it's too far away."
Yeah. Yeah, that's
So yeah,
tough.
yeah. But yeah, a lot of upsets, and I can't believe Alcaraz pulled out that first round match. He almost got bounced in 5 sets. That was crazy.
Oh yeah, Fabio just playing with nothing to lose. His last Wimbledon, hitting the piss out of the ball, and he he gave him a run for it.
Yeah. And then Mark, you were there to witness firsthand. Did I live up to a semi hype of not too bad of a golf player for hardly playing the sport?
So yeah, Josh, we had discussed that Jamie was way too confident about this golf match that we are going to play.
Mm-hmm.
We are still going to do this. I did play with Jamie and Jim Lurch yesterday, and I gotta say, we were like, Jamie might just be a scratch golfer, and there were certain holes that I was like, yeah, Jamie's just good at golf. Okay, that's fun. I thought he was sandbagging us for the first 9 holes. So we decided we play a casual 9, first 9 holes. And then the second 9, Lurch is like, hey, let's get a mini match going. Like, okay, yeah, sure. Every man for himself, stroke play. We're going to give Jamie 5 shots.
Sure.
Seems fair. He was, 5, 6 shots worse than us on the front. So it's like, yeah, 5 shots. That makes sense. He pars 10 and 11. And Lurch and I are looking at each other like, we're getting bagged. This guy sandbagged us for 9 holes. What's going on here? Couple of rough goes of it on a par 5.
Yeah.
Back-to-back par 5s that didn't go great for Jamie. But I got to say, the guy is solid for how much he plays golf. I think we'll have a very good match.
I'm looking forward to it. It's a shame I couldn't make it out. 4th of July, pre-booked. We will make this happen, though.
Yeah.
And hearing the reports, a best ball match play might be a struggle.
It might be good. I think I don't know if the best way to do it is, we're going to have to handicap it.
Sure.
There's going to have to be strokes given. Lurch and I will probably play off scratch because we're similar handicaps.
Yeah.
And so Lurch and I, or maybe we might even go off of my ball, and then maybe I give Lurch 1 or something. So we'll handicap it off of my ball. Jamie, I'm assuming you don't keep an official handicap with how much you actually play golf.
I play all the time. I don't know my handicap.
Yeah, but don't you use 18 birdies?
Yeah, I gotta guess.
Well, they have a handicap.
I don't even keep track of that though. I put in every couple rounds. I'll put it in there. I got something though. I can come up with a number.
Yeah, there's a handicap in there for you if you put your scores in. So we can just go based off of that. I think Lurch and I are I don't even know if Lurch has an official gin.
Right.
I think he just goes based off his league handicap at Erie Village. So yeah, we will figure this out. We'll get the proper strokes. Jamie, I'll probably give you about a shot a hole. Probably makes sense. The 18, 20 shots, maybe give you a couple of pops on on a more difficult hole, depending on where we play. But yeah, I think this will be a good match. I think it'll be competitive. It will have a blast, obviously. But I think it'll be a fun, really good golf match between the 4 of us.
Yeah, I had a great time yesterday, Mark. It was fun. And then, Mark, today on my route, I delivered to a house, and there was a set of golf clubs in the trash can, and they were like Titleist, a lot better than what I got. So I'm going to check them out to see if they're in unique shape, in good shape. Because if they're in good shape, I just got to dust them off, clean up the cobwebs. But it was a lady just tossing them out.
Yeah, there you go, Jamie. You got a brand new set. Come on, Jamie. I mean, he's getting ready. Next thing you know, this guy's going to be going to the range and getting lessons and grinding, getting ready for this match.
All right, sounds great. You guys have a good rest of the holiday weekend.
You too, Jamie. Happy 4th of July weekend.
Thanks.
There he is, Jamie the FedEx guy calling in. Of course, now this guy's getting a new club. That was the one thing. So Jamie shows up yesterday. He's got like one of those like Walmart sets.
Oh,
and I'm like, okay.
So now you're really
but it's old.
messing with me.
It's like
an old.
Yeah, it's old. It's like these clubs are like 15, 20 years old.
Mm.
So I'm like, okay, so
Is he
how is this going to go?
Yeah.
And he really, like I said, a few bad holes, but played some solid golf. He parred 3 out of the 4 par 3s.
Wow. So he can hit well.
Yeah. Yeah, every once in a while, when he makes it, he can hit a driver. Like, he's got some speed. He's got a little bit of speed.
You know what? Don't get me too competitive. I get very competitive.
I
But
mean,
I'm ready. I'm ready to do
he's not up there with. You're fairly long with a driver when you hit it well.
I'll bomb it past him.
Yeah, he's not up there with like you or I, but he's got some speed.
Got me stretching in the studio. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go right now.
Yeah,
We got to really.
We're calling Jamie back. We're getting a match this afternoon. No, he is out on his route today. We do have to take a timeout. We'll be back in just a minute.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I gotta fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're gonna be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes.
Now I'm just thinking about guys who were that dude.
Now
for
pull
like
over so you
4
can
years.
download the Upside
Jake
app
Arrieta.
before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app
name.
now to earn
That
name.
cashback
That guy
every
was
time you buy gas. Use promo
disgusting.
code
What about a
LIFE
guy
to
like
get an
Cliff
extra
Lee?
25 cents per gallon
Cliff
on
Lee
your
was
first
just
tank.
good.
You can cash
You
out
think all
anytime.
year? Not a
Yeah.
stretch. He was
Now
just a
or
Hall
Cliff
of Famer.
Lee-
card
no,
from
he's not a Hall of
Amazon and other
Famer.
brands.
Just really good.
download
But
the free
Cliff Lee
Upside
was just
app
a
and use
solid
promo
pitcher for a
code
long
LIFE
time.
For 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LIFE for
Yeah, I mean-
25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code
He was good
LIFE.
from 2008
Get ready
to
to launch into summer with
2013.
Sky Zone Clay.
Like, he
Our
was,
summer
like, really
membership is
good.
here, giving your family more ways to
Did he
play
win a
every
Cy
day
Young or
from
no?
now until the
Yeah,
first
he
day
did.
of fall.
Yeah,
Fly
with
down their
Cleveland.
65-foot
Went
zip line,
22 and
dunk on
3
their
with a
dual air
2.54
courts, and
ERA.
get sweet member discounts and exclusives all
Cliff Lee
summer
just
long. For
3.53
jumpers ages 7 to
ERA,
14,
143
there's still time to
wins. He just had a
register for
good
Sky
career.
Camp. Sky Zone will engage
Yeah.
kids' minds with weekly themes like superhero, travel, and science, while leaving time for lots of free play
Gotta talk
to
about
keep
guy
kids
who had
active.
a year
Plus,
of
coming
greatness.
soon, they're launching a
You
new
can't
floor-to-ceiling
talk
toddler
about a guy that said
attraction
Tim
that
Lincecum
can
last
accommodate
Yeah.
children ages 3 to 10.
Ubaldo
Sky Zone
Jimenez.
Play helps you
Oh,
elevate the way
a
you
guy.
celebrate with
Jimenez.
high-flying
I mean, a
birthday
guy
parties.
goes out
Their
there, throws a
dedicated party
perfect
hosts
game,
take care of
right?
planning,
No, no.
setup, and cleanup, so you can
In-
focus
in
on your
Colorado,
special
yes.
day.
Yeah.
Just bring
At
the
that time.
presents and they'll
No,
handle
no.
the rest. Get
Cy
off the
Young level
couch
year.
and into the air
Yeah,
this
and an
summer with
immediate
Sky
fall.
Zone Play. Learn
Everyone
more at
in
skyzone.com/play.
Colorado thought this
Wednesday
guy
morning at
was
8.
the
Click
second
sweet deals
coming.
at the Score
He was gonna
1260.com.
save the franchise.
He was going to save the
$50 in
franchise.
gift
They
certificates
finally
throwing
had a good
$25
pitcher.
to Sky Zone Play.
And
He dumped him for parts. Thing.
yeah, and then he goes to Cleveland and then Baltimore, or Baltimore then Cleveland.
One of the
Yeah, and just stinks.
Yeah, but shouts out him. What a great fun year that must be. Hopefully he got the marketing thing in that 1 year. You know, maybe did some commercials, got a little bit of pay from it.
Ubaldo Jimenez.
What was he doing that year? Like, you ever think about that? Like guys who just have one peak, you're like, what was he on? You know what I mean? Like, what did
Yeah, I think it was just the league hadn't figured him out yet. He was still young.
We're here
Hey, he was 20.
24/7.
He was actually that was
ready
his
to step in
fifth year in the
whenever you
league,
need us.
or fourth
Don't
year in the
sleep
league.
on it.
So
There are short time
Yeah, it was
deadlines
Cleveland
for
then
filing
Baltimore.
claims.
And
Call
he had one
us day or
decent year
night,
with
and
Cleveland where it
we'll
was
start
like, oh,
working on your
after a
case
couple of
Still good.
stinkers where it was
You
like, oh,
shouldn't
he
have
might
to
be
wait for
back,
help
and
you
then he was
deserve.
just he goes to Baltimore.
Call William.
He signs that 4-year deal with Baltimore, and his ERAs are 4.81, 4.11, 5.44, and 6.81.
Basketball fans.
681? How much time did they throw him out there?
That he had a 6.81 ERA and 142 innings.
Oh, they pitched him like at least 15 starts.
It was 30 starts.
Oh!
Or no, I'm sorry, 25 starts.
Oh!
Yeah, 25 starts, 31 appearances.
Tickets still available at
Oh,
tdthoops.com.
The year prior, he also had 142 innings with a 5.44 ERA. He had 25 starts and a save.
Oh, wow. The late, they're like, maybe you're a bullpen guy.
Yeah,
Who knows?
but the one insane year when he finished third in Cy Young voting, 19-8 with a 2.88 ERA, 214 strikeouts, and 221 innings in Colorado in 2010. When that was like peak. Yeah, that was Coors.
Mm.
Only at Hyundai Cicero at Drivers Village.
Love me.
The Hyundais
That
are here.
2010 Rockies
See
team.
what's here in person.
Pretty good.
At HyundaiCicero.com.
Pretty good.
Tulo, Cargo, Todd Helton still holding it down at first. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. We're just talking, just a couple of dudes talking about the 2010 Colorado Rockies.
What else are you going to do on a beautiful 4th of July weekend?
Exactly.
Can I have a strife with baseball, too? Can I just rustle my feathers? They
Go
get
right
under
ahead.
my skin. Yesterday, America's Day.
Yep.
2 games at 1 o'clock yesterday, or 3 games. 3 games. Every other game, 4 o'clock, 7s.
Yep.
There should be every game in America should start at 1 o'clock.
But there is also a game at 11 o'clock.
I'm fine with the late night.
No, 11 a.m.
Yesterday?
The Nationals play at 11 o'clock every 4th of July.
Yeah. I'm cool with it. So they want that to be the key.
Yeah.
I get that. 1 o'clock. Start the games at 1. I want the peak day, 1 and 4, and then 1 late night. 1 prime time, which they had. Astros Dodgers was like 8.
Yep.
But then they still did the late night Giants game, which was a stinker. But I just let's get the scheduling right on these things. This is your day. Just like Memorial Day should be baseball's day. They should just take over the day. They don't. All these big sports, they pain me. The NHL gives me crap all the time. They don't know what to do.
Yeah, it really is annoying. Like when,
4 o'clock, I'm already busy. I got things to do.
I want to.
I'm half in the bag.
Jim said, what about the hot dog eating contest? Well, that is truly everyone's favorite 4th of July event. But Joey Chestnut, 70 and a half hot dogs yesterday. Is 17-time world champion now.
Can I speak candidly?
You hate it.
I don't give a rat's ass about the 4th of July hot dog eating contest. Okay, now it's fun and great. Joey Chestnut's the best. I love it.
American hero.
I have never watched a minute of that horse crap in my life. I don't care at all about some guy glugging hot dogs, okay? And this fascination that everyone gives a crap about it is wrong. Nobody cares. Who's watching this garbage? Even the fatty, the big guy who's doing the lemonade thing beforehand.
Yeah, that guy rocks too.
That guy is fine. These people are obscene. I'm a guy who loves watching eating content. I watch professional eaters do food challenges online almost exclusively on YouTube now. And I can't stand the 4th of July hot dog eating contest.
Jim just said, this is why we love having Josh in the studio. And that's absolutely true.
Clip it.
I might.
I don't give a rat's ass.
I might clip. I don't give a rat's ass about the 4th of July hot dog eating contest. It's
great. Joey Chestnut's amazing. I tune in at, right afterwards. I check. I go, oh, he won it? Okay, 71.
Here's the thing. So I don't either. I don't care about it in the slightest. I just think it's kind of a funny bit to be like, yeah, Joey Chestnut's one of the greatest athletes of our generation. Like,
people who say that, honestly, they're rage baiting. Those people are rage when they're like, Tiger, Jordan, Brady, Chestnut. And you're like, God damn. No, you don't believe that. Nobody believes. I love Jaws. Okay, it's great.
It's just one of my favorite bits to be like, hey, listen, who would you rather be, Rafael Nadal at the French or Joey Chestnut at Nathan's? Like, it's
you know who's the best part about that? It's not the autistic hot dog eating guy.
Yeah,
it's the whack job announcer who has some of the most amazing intros. That part I would actually be tuned into. Did you see the intro yesterday?
No, I didn't.
Buddy, I'll show you the clip after this. It is one of the most inspirational, speeches, and he's finally making his return.
Well, yeah, he had to come back. He was banned by Nathan's for aligning with a vegan hot dog company.
Maybe they're just trying to make some controversy to get people back in.
It was a travesty, Josh. He was banned. Can you imagine if they banned Nadal from the French?
I mean,
it doesn't happen.
It's like a wrestling storyline. He was banned. They could have just not banned him. Who's watching without Joey Chestnut? You know why they brought him back? Because people were like me. They finally realized this is dog crap content, and I don't care. Even going, it's packed every year. For what? You can't see him. It's disgusting. Nobody likes watching those people glug the hot dog in the water. It makes me sick. I want to vomit. It's abhorrent. It's borderline demonic, okay? And I can't stand watching it. And the idea that I'm a cool white guy, so I have to approve of this is nonsense. That's the worst part of white culture. Get rid of it. We do a lot of bad things, and the hot dog contest is right up top.
Yeah, I think Josh broke me. Oh my God. That's not where I expected that rant to go.
Start to clip it. Can I speak candidly?
Yeah. It started so calm.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh. Stone said he's trying not to throw up right now hearing about it in the state that I'm in. It is disgusting.
Yes.
It's absolutely horrifyingly gross.
I mean, like I said, I watch a bunch of this content, and even sometimes for me, I'm like, I'm a big fat piece of garbage. I eat food like it's disgusting to most people, but I have some manners. You know, I use a napkin. I like to keep it tight sometimes. And I understand you're in a competition. You do anything you can. It makes me sick. I can't physically watch it.
Because here's the thing. I'm not a hot dog eater.
You're not a glizzy guy at all?
No, I'm not a glizzy guy at all. I think hot dogs are gross because I learned what a hot dog is at way too young of an age, and it ruined it for me. Like,
I get that.
I was like, I think these things are disgusting. So the fact that someone makes it his entire life to once a year eat 70 hot dogs
in 10 minutes.
In 10 minutes. It's absolutely disgusting to me.
You know what's the worst part about that? Because when you think about it, you're like, that's 7 a minute. But it's not 7 a minute, because the first 7 minutes, he's eating like 13 a minute.
Yeah.
You know, like the pace dies dramatically in these things. So those first 3 minutes, you will vomit if you watch. If you're like actively locked in, I don't know, these jaws of steel or the stomachs of steel, people watch these things and don't get queasy. I'd rather watch open heart surgery than watch it. I mean, it's absolutely brutal. I'd rather cut a guy open and do surgery myself with no doctor to watch me, and I just figure it out inside of a human body. I could be less queasy doing that than watching him devour hot dogs.
The one that you brought it up briefly. I think the lemonade chug is so funny.
What are we doing?
I think it's hilarious.
I love that big man wins all the time. Sure.
First of all, he's so large.
He's extremely diabetic. He has to be. This isn't fun. At least Joey's like a healthy-ish guy.
Yeah, Joey Chestnut is actually in unreal shape for what he does for a living.
He's just in Syracuse.
I know he was. He was at the Mets game.
What are we doing? This is why we still get crap when people on the 4th of July, you know, the British or something, will be like, Americans are so silly. They're eating their face off. This is why. Because we're eating hot dogs. And I love it. And you make me need to love it because I hate Britain. But I don't love it, Mark. I don't.
Joey Chestnut is the root of all American hatred from foreigners.
Yes. It's up there.
Well, you also just said this is the worst part of white culture, which is something that we're not going to get into. we are not going to discuss the millions of other atrocities.
This is up there. Ask anybody. They'll tell you.
Jim said this is a top 5 show ever, and I might have to agree. We talked about Tim Lincecum and Joey Chestnut. This is... that might be the hardest I've ever laughed on this show.
That's how you save a show.
And that's how you save a show, and that's how you get people ready for next week, where maybe Josh goes on another rant like that.
I'm at a bachelor party next week.
Ah, no!
I'm out of town.
Well, everyone still tune in. We'll be back, same time, same channel, 11 a.m. on the Score 1260. Peace.